Today, children play soccer on this small field in Baghdad. But a few years ago, on this very spot, the evening pastime was to watch executions carried out by Al-Qaeda. Ahmed, not his real name, was 12 when he first witnessed the street killings. Now 18, he remembers how he was plagued with nightmares. And then it just became normal. Everyone would watch, he remembers. They would drag the person out of the car, shoot and leave. He would bleed to death and the body would stay for days until the guards came or the dogs ate it. Ahmed says he and his friends would poke the bloated corpses with sticks to try to get them to move. I didn't know what death was, what it really meant, he recalls. He seems so gentle, yet tormented. It's much less violent than it used to be, but still not entirely safe. The sound of gunfire or the sight of a car with blacked out windows makes Ahmed shudder. He just wants to leave, to regain some of what he has lost. At the Ibn Rushd Psychiatric Hospital, we meet 62-year-old Thalib. He keeps reliving the explosions he's seen and is terrified anytime he has to stop at a checkpoint. But he is among the few who are seeking help.
It's the tip of the iceberg, because most of the people, they don't come to the hospital, psychiatric hospital, because of the stigma.
Or because they don't recognize the symptoms. The director says everyone is affected, but in different ways. Uncontrollable anger, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, afflictions that don't discriminate between Sunni and Shia. At his home in Sadr City, Hussein Ali displays photos of what he calls the incident, a U.S. missile strike. In an instant, the roof just collapsed on us, Hussein recalls. His wife and son were buried under the rubble. After about 15 minutes, my cousin said, "I can hear a sound," and they started digging, and they saw my wife's finger. She survived, but the lifeless body of 2-year-old Ali was found 3 hours later. It was April of 2008.
This street was one of the many front lines during the fighting for Sadr City. The family says that the morning of the strike, there were gunmen that were positioned on that street corner, firing at American and Iraqi forces. But they say these buildings, their homes, were never used as fighting positions. And to date, they do not understand why they were targeted.
This is footage we obtained back then, including a clip of Ali's body, though we didn't know who he was at the time, and a shot of his mother, Nina, just after she was dug out from the rubble. Cradling her other children, she tells us she is always angry, and even the simplest of things causes her to weep uncontrollably. I am psychologically damaged now, she says. I lash out at my children. I beat them. She knows it's wrong, but she can't control herself. Hussein is soft-spoken, but says he too has become short-tempered. The incident, it haunts us now, he explains. I keep seeing the ceiling falling on me, and my wife can't stop remembering screaming for help. In the capital and across Iraq, a nation is haunted by pain, from which there is no escape. Arwa Damons, CNN, Baghdad.